What's up, everybody? It's your boy J Rocks. Hitting you today with something special. We have a guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, man. This is Scentitar Fragrance. I have a fragrance channel. Really appreciate this guy. Doing this, really building the fragrance community. My channel. I know it's a really funny name. If y'all are curious, it's all about fragrances. But the name Scentitar was. I was just thinking, everybody has a creative name, so why not a Scentitar and fragrance? Because fragrance is a part of who we are. So.
I really like your thumbnail. It's a Scentitar. And I was like, oh, I get it. Like, his name's Scentitar. And the Scentitar is like a human and an animal blended together.
Of course,
A lot of different scents and blended together to create a new scent. I have a few questions here. They'll be kind of like our guideline, and we'll go from there. How did you find out about the fragrance community?
Honestly, it took me a long time. When I first started getting into fragrances, I naturally went to YouTube. I guess I'm just a curious person. I like reviews, like on Amazon. Always getting somebody else's input. So I said, surely somebody on YouTube has talked about these things before. And I started buying some cheapies. Things like Penguin's Original, and I got my Polo Red and Versace Pour Homme, things like that. And I wanted to know more, so I just dived into it. I think I remember Dre Doc, My Mickers, and Redolescence, I think, were some of the really big ones. Oh, and Street Scents. I really love those guys, and they were the ones who really got me into watching the videos and just learning more and more.
Nice. I wasn't actually actively searching for the fragrance community group. I was actually looking for a collection of. I remember I was searching a collection of something. I've been collecting books about 4 years. I was like, you know what? I pretty much have everything I want. When I started feeling a little stale, start collecting something different. I started going with the statues, but they're really expensive. So I was like, they're above my budget. That's a little too much. So I quit on that. I just bought a few of them. And I was looking for a collection of something. I can't remember what I typed. And a video came out of fragrances. It was Jensen's. And I checked out his channel, checked out the video. But we all always wear fragrances. We all have a few at least, even if we don't collect them. We all have somewhat of a collection. So when I saw the video, I really enjoyed it, and I was like, I didn't even know this was like a community on YouTube that collected like hundreds of fragrances. I know there's people that collect, everything's collectible. There's people that collect hundreds of bottles of old wine or liquor, different stuff. So I knew there was people out there that so I knew there was people that collected fragrances. I just didn't know there was a community on YouTube about it. So I watched this video, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to buy a spice bomb, but they didn't have it in any of the stores around here. So I was like, I'm just gonna look at a few videos to get an idea if it's something that interests me. And I went ahead and bought it. And when I bought it, I wanted to make a video about it. So after I made that video, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start buying fragrances and making videos and collecting. And that was pretty much how that got started. For me, it was just kind of a fluke. I just bumped into that channel, and I've been collecting now about 6 months, and it's since January. And I'll say Ash from Jensen's, that's still my favorite channel.
So you never really smelled fragrances or been into fragrances?
I had Perry Ellis, I'll have Aqua di Gio, Armani Code, Dolce Gabbana The One, to go out on dates or to go to work, to school. So I've always bought them. Like, I've always had a few, but I never really took time to smell them and know every note. And I just knew about what's on commercials. You know what's at the mall at Macy's, what's at your outlet, and you know what's on commercials, on advertisement. So I pretty much was buying a bunch of, stuff. I was looking at the outlets, they give you decent deals. So I just knew about your Versace, your Dolce Gabbana. I didn't know about the niche stuff, and I didn't know about your cheapies either, except for what I saw at like Marshalls or Ross's once in a while.
No, I like your story because mine's probably a little bit more typical. Like, I went to a mall one time. I don't even think it was a fancy hotel when we were little, particularly fancy or uppity or anything. But they had these like little mini vials. It's probably something really generic like CK1 or something, or maybe even cheaper. And when I was little, I thought it smelled really good. And then I smelled Aqua di Gio, from one of those like little flaps of the page in a magazine, and I thought it smelled really good, so I wanted to learn more. So that's kind of what started it for me. So I really didn't own a scent or didn't get into scents until my early 20s.
How did you get into fragrances in general? Like, did you always like them? So you started. You said you didn't really start buying them yourself till your 20s.
Yeah.
You probably you look like you might be a little younger than me. So, because around in my generation in high school, I don't remember there wasn't like Axe body spray or body wash or any of that yet. So you had to buy fragrances. You had to buy your cheapies. Like kids now in high school or junior high, they buy body sprays. But back then, that wasn't really a thing. So you had to buy like a few colognes.
Yeah, I think Axe was popular for like a year or two, but it wasn't. They kind of like died down quickly. There's like a lot of people who hated on it because they would like drown themselves in it. And I mean, the stuff would only last 30 minutes or an hour or something. But when they had so much on, it would fill up the whole room. That's probably how some people got into fragrances. That was probably something that really moved somebody. Everybody has a different story. It might have been grandpa's shaving cream or, your dad's aftershave. It's everybody had a story, so.
Yeah, me, when I started school, when I went from elementary to junior high, my mom bought me a few fragrances. She's like, here, you're going to be needing this because, they've been there, done that, and that, Other 12-year-olds that are spraying themselves and excited over their first colognes, like, well, what are you wearing? What do you have? Are your friends? Oh, I got this one. Oh, I got this one. So everybody's showing something new to you, some new experience. So you're not showing off to each other what it is your first signature scent, if you will.
A lot of people in the frat call like a vintage is king. Back in our day when we were like teens or whatever, it's like Aqua de Gio was the king.
Yeah. I mean, now people complain about like, man, $100 that's like for a niche fragrance. But before we had the online and all that, you had to hit your outlets or like your swap meets or where to find deals, because every fragrance was like $80 to $100, and now it's like you buy niche stuff with that.
I've always been kind of from like more, I guess you wouldn't say rural, but like smaller southern cities. So in my high school, we just didn't have that kind of culture. It's just Axe body spray got popular for a little while, and that was it. I didn't know anybody who was wearing any cologne. I didn't even know anybody wearing their father's Dracar Noir or anything.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's like less materialistic. Like, over here in the big culture, the culture's different. Over here, you're a kid, like, you gotta buy your kid Jordans, because if they're wearing, like, some cheap off-brand, if you're in elementary, it's fine, but once you're in high school and all that, they're, like, embarrassed to wear that stuff, and you're like, oh, maybe their friends will make fun of them or something, so you want them to have, like, nice things too, and the popular things are always more expensive. With fragrances and all, I started buying, like, looking for stuff that wasn't too pricey, and that was the main thing I found out when I got into the community. I'll get into that when we get into that advice for noobs. Well, actually, we should get into it right now. The third question: advice you would give noobs.
Yeah, I wrote down a couple. I mean, there's so many we could talk about, but the first one is probably go sample fragrances at the mall. That's one of the first things I did. And you can go to the mall. I mean, some people, they might even be in a place that's so rural that's kind of hard to do, but I'd really encourage everybody to go there because even though, if you're into niche and we hear about all these fragrances, it might seem like they don't have enough variety. You can really get an experience, really test some fragrances, really find something that you like, and there is still a good amount of variety at just about every basic mall I've been to. So that's one of the big ones I really suggest everybody does. I really do think so. And if you go and if you're nice enough, I haven't had the experience where they give me outright samples even if I ask for them, but they'll make me samples. They have like mini vials. And if you're really interested in something, and if you're friendly enough, if you just ask for samples.
Okay, I will go back and forth. I'll give you one, then you give me one. My first one I would give you is because I used to spend like $50, $70 around there on a fragrance. Then I found out like about Ross and all, you buy them for about $20, $25. which is then I started buying at Ross. I hardly bought at the mall that much anymore unless it's something I really wanted. I was like, you know what, they got decent stuff here for about $25. I don't need anything that expensive. And one thing I could tell you guys, man, like for example, I just bought this one and I've been rocking it the last few days. It'll probably be my next review. Frank Oliver Night Touch. The projection on this, it has good performance. It projects pretty loud, and it lasts a good while. And this cost me like $15. So I'm telling you, back in the days I would never even touch this because I just look at it. I'm like, oh, it's cheap. The price and the name is like a name I haven't heard of. It would make me not want to buy it. It's like, oh, I want something that's a brand name, like a designer brand. And those are more expensive. And I'll tell you guys, one thing I could tell you for noobs or someone that's just looking to buy a cologne or signature scent, don't let the brands fool you. Like, try them out. Some of these smell real nice, even better than the brand names. And a lot of them have better performance as well.
Definitely, that's a really good point. You can go for the cheapies out there and get like all kinds of variety and test out all kinds of different types of scents. And you can have just a whole bunch of variety, you know, when you're first starting, and then figure out, you know, all this different types of DNAs and smells and everything that you like, you know. But a lot of occasions, you don't have to be wearing something really expensive, you know. I don't know. That's one of the things I think. It's a lot of people, because we're in this fragrance community, they think that they have to wear a Ventus every day, or they're not smelling good or something. And it's like, I don't know. A Ventus is really special. If I was wearing it, I'd save it for a special occasion, but that's just me.
Don't get like too excited or overhyped and just start buying these niche fragrances and spending a lot of money. Because one thing from my experience, I have a few niche ones I bought it. I just haven't reviewed them because I haven't worn them yet. I mean, I've tried them out, but I haven't really given them full wearings. But what I was going to say is, if you just immediately start and you just start buying the expensive stuff, you're not gonna really find out what makes it special or different or unique. You know what I mean? Like, it's something I think I recommend you ease into it. After you try enough fragrances and you start seeing a lot of repetitive stuff, you're like, oh, this repetitive, this still smells familiar to this and that. Once you start seeing that, then you venture up to something a little more expensive. Like, let me try something a little different. But if you just start with those, it's like you're not gonna know they're different or special because you haven't got to that point where you started seeing repeats and a lot of the same stuff yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you won't be able to appreciate the small differences in the fragrance. Like, or if you're into video games, like jumping to level 100, you don't know what it took to get there, and all the struggle, and all the little details that make something special. So I really like that point. Really good. Well, my second one was have a fragrance for every occasion. When I first started, I really noticed that everybody, and nothing's wrong with mass appealing fragrances. I have a lot of them too, but they seem to be buying all the mass appealing fragrances that were all kind of similar. You know, buying Sauvage and Aqua di Gio, Bleu de Chanel, all those kinds of fragrances that they're fantastic, but do you need all, you know, 5 or 6 of them that are out? So I was like, there must be a little bit more variety, and that's when I started looking at different types of fragrances, you know, for different occasions. And those are fantastic fragrances you could wear anytime, anywhere. But if you want, you know, to dress up in a nice suit and wear something fancy, you might want something different. Or a good place to start, I don't know if you saw that 4 fragrances for life tag. I thought that was fantastic. You know, 1 for spring, summer, fall, winter. And then you can have ones for different occasions you might have in your life.
Yeah, that's a good point. That 4 fragrances tag that people were doing, where it's one for each season. Great. That's a great video to search on YouTube. Search 4 fragrance tags for 4 different seasons. If you're new or you're not planning on collecting, but you just want a few fragrances, those are great videos to watch because you get variety, 1 for each season, and that's kind of what you want. You don't want to have 5 or 6 fragrances and they all kind of do the same thing. Like, you want, you know, different stuff, how you said. That's a great point. Because I used to do that even as far as 2 years ago, I bought a lot of them that were just versatile for everything. And then I would just have one. Like, for example, when I got Armani Code, back in like 2005, somewhere around there, it smelled so different to me. I was like, wow, this is like a sexy smelling fragrance. Like, this is a lot different than the stuff I was wearing at that time. I was wearing, you know, Sour Chrome, Cool Water, Aqua di Gio, those kind of like fresh type of scents. And this was something totally different. I was like, oh, this is like a date fragrance, you know? I got that one. Then later on down the road, I bought a bottle of Dolce Gabbana, the one. So those to me were like a lot different than my typical normal stuff I wear. I wear normal stuff to go to work, to my everyday stuff, like signature scents. And I always have like 4 signature scents or 5, and then I would have one like date or special occasions type of thing. Really, to me, when they say, "Oh, this fragrance is versatile," this one's not. To me, I don't feel like a fragrance loses points or gain. Maybe it could gain, but I don't feel like it loses points if it doesn't have a lot of versatility. Unless you only have a few fragrances, then you want them to be more versatile because your options are less. But when you're collecting a lot of them, you kind of want each one to do its own thing. Like you don't need a bunch of them that are for everything because you have enough variety where you don't. It's doing everything. You know what I mean?
You might as well just go wild. Go for your first oud or something. It's like, yeah.
My last advice I would have for anybody new just getting into the fragrance game or anything like me, I'm still kind of new. I'm still learning as I go. One thing I would say is check out Jensen's channel. It's dope and it's very newbie friendly. Like he explains it in a way where someone new, it makes it easy to gauge and to understand what he's saying. Like it makes it easy for you to ease into the game. And also, his channel is just good. It's entertaining. He mixes it up. Sometimes it's serious. Sometimes it's funny. And sometimes he could break down the notes. Sometimes like he'll keep it from being boring. Every video will be a little different. So I'll say him and Jay Royal, those 2 channels, he does this thing, Fragrance Rant. Those 2 channels are great at explaining. They're great for someone new just getting into the game. Is what I'm trying to say. That's a great place to start and learn, and then from there you find out about other channels.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with both of those. I really like Jay Royal and what he does with the Fradcom. He always says to get your own opinion, and that helped me inspire me a little bit with what I say. That's kind of my last point here. Sure.
What was it? Oh yeah, signature scent. What's your signature scent, and what would you recommend as a signature scent?
For me personally, it's really hard. It's really, really hard for me to choose a signature scent because I don't have a huge collection. I have 40 to 50, which I know to a lot of people outside the fragrance community, they're like you have more than 2 fragrances. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But it's really hard for me to pick one that I just really stick to. But one of them I really do like as a signature scent is Azurius Rouge. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's by Givenchy. It comes in a red bottle, this ruby red bottle. And it's really interesting. It has this beautiful, powdery kind of feel to it, and this fresh kind of cactus vibe to it. And it kind of smells gentlemanly, almost fougere-like, but it's fresh. I'm sure like you Latin or Spanish guys out there would just love it. It's amazing.
I will say for like the last 6-7 months since I've been buying a lot of new fragrances, I don't really have a signature scent because now I'm just like wearing one fragrance for a week, another one next week, and so there's no like main fragrance I'm sticking with. Also because I want to review them.
Yeah.
But for a long time, Aqua di Gio was my signature scent, and I would recommend for back in the days when it came out, it was something like badass and popular and. But in today's day and age, I wouldn't even recommend you buy that because there's a lot of new fragrances that smell similar at a fraction of the price. So I would say I think that's a very versatile scent. So someone that just has a few fragrances, get that Paris Hilton Just Me or Perrier 360. People say they smell like Aqua di Gio, and each one of those is like $20. So I think that's a great place to start if you just have a few fragrances. You're not looking to spend a lot, but you're looking to smell clean and something you can wear for any occasion, everyday use. I'll go with one of those 2.
No, that's really good. I always think signature scents is kind of an interesting topic because you want something that's definitely appeals to people, pretty versatile because you're going to be wearing it all the time. But you want it to be a little bit different because when somebody smells you, they can remember you. So that's kind of a hard question. So
that's all we got for you today. Hopefully you like what you saw. I'll leave the links to Scentitar's channel, and I'll also leave the links to my Instagram and my Twitter down below in the description. And if you like what you saw and want to see more of the same, you know what's up, hit that like button. Also, it helps support the channel, help to get the name out there. And I'll check you guys out next time.